talking. It's okay. Hello. Hi. We're not gonna wait a long time because we're not that famous, so not a lot of people are going to connect right away.
And we're not also doing this for publicity.
Not at all. This is just our duty as Cubans. Welcome everybody, whoever is joining. Thank you so much for joining us. And we are here to bring awareness of the situation in Cuba, about what is happening with a group of Cubans that are called El Movimiento San Isidro. 14 very, very, very brave people that are, 2 of them are on hunger strike. Right?
They've been in a hunger strike for
6 days now.
6 days
or 9 days.
Yeah,
something like
more.
it's very concerning. And for the first time in a long time,
Yes.
Cubans inside and outside of Cuba are feeling hope, are feeling the spark, are feeling that times are changing and that we have to say something. We have to say something. And in our case, we're saying, bringing the message to Canada, because we live in Toronto now and we need to let the Canadians know what is happening.
The real situation. We're not crazy when we say that Cuba has a dictatorship. So every time we get interviews, we say this, and we say it one time and 100 times over, because it's true. It's not some angry black women talking in a concert. It's just like we're trying to bring in awareness, because I know how wonderful Cuba is, how wonderful the hotels are, and the beaches and everything, you know, and the people. People are wonderful, and we deserve a future. I say we, yes, because yes, we live here, but our families, all of our families are back there. And even though if all of our families are in here, we still feel like Cubans, and we want the Cubans to have a future, to have democracy, to get rid of a bad government. It is a bad government, and it's not about like establishing a dialogue with the dictatorship. There is no dialogue with the dictatorship. And we need to acknowledge this. It's not a matter of being political or not. It's a matter that your mother, your father, your uncle, your kids don't need to wait for recharge the mobile phones in order to have a life online. Things like that. And freedom for the political prisoners, that is also an issue. And in the dialogue that last night, at the meeting when they have at the culture ministry in Havana, yes, that was fantastic. That all people that we know that went to school with me, you know, and Isa,
and we're all proud of them.
We're proud of you guys.
But you did not count on El Movimiento San Isidro.
You did not mention any names.
And you did
Luisma.
not demand the freedom of Solis, Alcantara, and all these women that are being held in their houses right now. In their houses. All these people are being so brave. And we are here to represent the Cubans that don't live in Cuba. We cannot say and we cannot do what the Cubans in Cuba are doing. But what we can do is to send this message in English for the Canadians, for all the people that follow us. And we're extremely happy to
have friends here,
have,
you know, that support us. Yes,
exactly.
But our music comes from that struggle too. And, you know, it's not a happy place even though we make it happy.
And we risk everything too, because for the longest time, the Cubans don't want to be political. The artists outside of Cuba don't want to be political, because then that, you know, it brings some shame and people don't want to talk about it. But we do.
Fear. Yes, we do have fear.
Because we lost everything. We lost a country. We lost our mothers. We haven't seen our mothers in years. So I don't care. I don't care because I have nothing bigger or stronger to lose.
The only fear here is the matter of, oh, I'm not going to be able to go back to Cuba. Boho to you. None of us can go back to Cuba, and we're here trying to fight for them. And you know what? We've been told also, oh, but you're not there fighting among those people. I was one of them. I was there fighting.
That's why you're a refugee in this country.
That's why I'm a refugee in this country. I was there. But you know what? I'm no martyr. I'm not a soldier. None of us have guns. We are actually making
peace.
It's a peaceful protest. It is peaceful. We're only demanding our basic rights. And
human rights.
We should not ask for permission in order to get our humans right. You know, it's our human right. And the fact that that government has only one party and has only one voice doesn't allow us to exercise our freedoms, you know. Those are the people that are fighting. San Isidro movement is the people that are fighting right now. The Damas de Blanco, de Unpacu, in Santiago de Cuba, my city, they are fighting right now. And for years, they've been fighting for years.
And no one knows. So this live is mostly to bring awareness to the Canadians. If the Canadian government allows refugees from Cuba, it's because they have grounds. They have things to say that cannot say in Cuba. So if the Canadian government has refugees, it means that the situation in Cuba is serious enough. So it means that if you live here and you have enjoy of our beaches and our women and our men and our social, cultural, whatever, means that you should care about Cuba and you should not look the other way anymore.
I know, and I know. It sounds bad right now and it looks bad in anybody's resume right now to make deals with North Korea or have friends in North Korea and things like that. We need to get to the point when making businesses with Cuba
is shameful.
It's shameful. It's bad because you're aiding a dictatorship. You're with your money, you're allowing these people to go to our country. You're allowing these people to suppress us, our rights, people.
And
that's the only thing. That's what we're posting. I know everything we're posting is in Spanish because we're just sharing all of our friends' fights in Cuba, in Miami, yes, in Miami, and in the whole world. We're just sharing that, and I know some things are in Spanish and you cannot understand, but we are here.
That's why we're explaining
to make you understand.
If you have any questions, if you want to know more, if you want to know how to help, if you want to know where to go, where to get informed, the reason why we're doing this is because people need to know the real Cuba. We have been hiding behind this tourism and behind the music and behind the culture and behind all these beautiful things that come out of that island, but this cannot be allowed anymore. Cuba has a dictatorship, plain and simple. If you go there, your money supports the dictatorship. It's that simple. If we as Cubans don't go there because we don't want to support it, then it means that you can go somewhere else. There are other places with, Dominican Republic and every country. We're saying that every country is struggling right now. This is not,
and it does hurt us because our families are there. So the fact that we're saying this, don't go to Cuba, you think that our mothers are gonna be happy because we don't go and we say, people, don't go to Cuba. Yes, they are struggling, but they will continue to do so because none of the embargo things that people say out there, and I know the embargo is real, people, the embargo is real with many things. That the embargo makes sure that Amazon don't get to Cuba. It makes sure that McDonald's don't get to Cuba because the big enterprises from the US cannot make businesses in Cuba. So I understand that. I understand that part. But in other hand, the embargo also
allows food to get into Cuba. The chicken that the Cubans eat is from the United States of America. So the real embargo that we have is from the government, from within the own system, that they don't allow Cubans to talk, to speak, to be proud of what they believe. They have been there for more than 60 years. Imagine if you don't like Trudeau, if you didn't like Harper,
or
if you don't like Ford, imagine having those people for 60 years and you cannot say anything against them. Imagine that for a second. Just for a second. I'm pretty sure you will understand. So it's important that you share. It's important that you ask questions. It's important that you understand the struggle is real.
And also, yeah, well, what I was saying about the embargo is like the money that the United States don't allow into my country, my mom will never see it. So they stopped the jets from going from Miami to Havana, and none of that money, our families, because we're regular Cubans, none of that money our families are gonna see. The only ones that are affected are the Castros. The only ones that are affected are their businesses. That's the thing. The regular Cuban don't see the embargo problem. You see why? Because they have no businesses. That's the thing. They have no businesses.
There is racism in Cuba. There is all the bad things that you can imagine. All of those things. Every time I hear a Canadian telling me, but you have, free healthcare. We don't
get sick.
We get that free healthcare, that don't get sick and don't go to a Cuban hospital because you would die from an infection, actually. We pay with our freedom. Canadians pay their free healthcare with taxes. We want to do the same. We want to be the same. We want to be able to pay our taxes, to get money, to travel the world and come back to our paradise, because we live in a paradise. Our country is a paradise that you need to go there when it's winter time and you're running away from a very, very cold situation. So we live in a paradise. We should be the ones asking Canadians for visa to come into our country, because on top of that, we have to ask for so many visas in order to travel the world and go any little tiny place on earth. Cubans, our passports don't work anywhere because they know that we might stay, because they know that we might be immigrants. But at the same time, I dare you, all of you, to tell me how many homeless Cubans do you know? Cubans go anywhere in the world to work extremely hard. They learn other languages. There are Cubans everywhere, in Russia, in France,
China,
in China, everywhere. They learn the language. They work hard. They send money back. I don't want to be sending money back. And I want the Canadian government to allow my mother to come and visit me and visit her. She hasn't seen her mother in 7 years.
It is the worst consulate in the world. The Canadian consulate in Cuba holds the record for more visas denied. And it's only for Cubans. And they make them have like a ridiculous amount of dollars in their bank accounts. When you have more than whatever you can explain, you get in trouble by the government. So things like that. And things, when we're talking about the healthcare and education and all that, we've been told since we're little that those are triumphs from the revolution. Those are basic human rights. Basic human rights.
Free education.
Canada has free education. Canada has free healthcare. Yes, we pay with taxes, but you get what you pay for. I'm just saying. The thing is that we've been told that we should be grateful to the dead guy because we have free healthcare and free education. That's our basic human right.
My mother is a nurse. Her mother is a lawyer. My mother makes $40 a month. Her mother used to make 30.
My mom
20
had to be a maid from a hotel. So forget about the law. She knows all the law, but she cannot exercise the law. You know why? Because she don't get paid. So the fact that she had to put food on my table and me not knowing anything about the outside world and the struggles from Cuba, I have to thank my mom for being a maid at a hotel. You see? Like serving you.
One of those hotels.
Serving you. And okay, she was happy, and we made a lot of friends out of that. Like, it's not about you. It is not your fault. You're just there to enjoy. It's the fact that you acknowledge what you're doing right now.
The Canadian government, we're demanding the Canadian government to acknowledge the situation in Cuba, to acknowledge el Movimiento San Isidro, to acknowledge all these women are the Damas de Blanco, to acknowledge all of those women out there, women and men fighting, the hunger strike. Where are those people that they just took from their houses? They were peacefully protesting in their house, and the government sent people dressed as doctors saying that they were violating some health whatever issue, using the pandemic,
using the COVID-19 to prevent this and separate them. So you see things like that the regime, the tyranny, that the dictatorship has used for so many years. It's old, people. It is old. They've been doing this. Enough is enough. And a revolution, yes, it is happening in Cuba, but we don't use that word anymore because
they stole it.
They stole it
from us.
And that word doesn't mean the same to none of us.
So please, what we're doing, we're not going to keep talking for too long here.
No.
We want to let you know that Cuba needs help. The Canadian government needs to acknowledge the situation in Cuba, because
visibility.
You have thousands of Canadians, and I don't know how many Canadians, I know millions of Canadians go to Cuba every year, and only
the highest
a handful
tourism
of Cubans can come to Canada, and they need to apply with visas and things like that, and horrible
go to hell and back in order to be allowed into Canada. Really?
Yeah. So
seriously?
It's not fair. It is not a fair relationship in between countries. It is not fair that we are forgotten. It is not fair that people look the other way because they want to enjoy the country, the backyard of Cuba being so warm. You need to share this video. You need to let people know that the situation in Cuba is real, that yesterday some artists went to the Ministry of Culture and made an agreement that does not work and does not represent the Cubans. In this case, we are talking about the immigrants. We are not representing the Cubans inside of Cuba because we don't live there. And those are the brave ones. We are only helping in the possible way that we can help to make them visible. So if you follow us, if you have listened to our music, if you're watching this video, I please ask you to share and to let people around you know that Cuba needs help.
And Montreal, en ce moment, there's un grève. There is a riot right now by the Cubans in Montreal at this very moment.
Unfortunately, we're in
lockdown. We
Toronto.
cannot do anything in Toronto. But the Montreal people, the Montreal folk, the Cubans in Montreal, and all our friends, our French friends, are helping and are there getting organized and protesting against this.
Gracias a todos los cubanos. Gracias a todos los cubanos que están
luchando,
todas esas mujeres valientes, que mientras exista una cubana y un cubano que hablen así, una cubana y un cubano que defienda, que no tenga miedo, que enseñe a los esbirros, que les tire fotos, que los enseñe en videos, que se les enfrente. Nosotros tenemos que hacer algo y tenemos que decir algo. Estamos muy agradecidas, estamos muy conmovidas, estamos súper pendientes de todo lo que está pasando. Y no importa, we can risk our lives and the careers that we have. And I'm doing this because it's important to put things in perspective. There are people willing to die, literally, for something that will benefit all of us. Yes. So the least we can do is share and comment and like and
respect,
send it to people.
Everybody's effort to do that. Don't say that, oh, you're not in Cuba, oh, you're here, how comfortable it is to do that from the comfort of your own home. It is comfortable to defend dictatorship from here, from the freedom. So that is what is comfort, not this. And I still respect you.
But it's not comfortable to leave your country behind.
No.
It's not comfortable to leave your mother behind. It's not comfortable to learn another language and be in like minus 35. That is not comfortable.
It's not fun.
We're also doing
But
things.
we're here.
You know, I want to be in Cuba. I want to be in my Havana house, just looking at the beach and enjoying life. It's not comfortable for anybody, for none of us. It's not comfortable to be working here and sending money to my mother. If she's a professional, she should be sending money to me.
Exactly. So
she's
things
a nurse.
do need to change, because in my case, we've been living immigration. I've been living immigration since I moved to Havana. So I know what it feels to be an outsider, because I felt that. And I felt it with the police harassment in Havana just because my ID said that I was from Santiago de Cuba. Yes, that was the Cuba that I used to live in. So that's why immigrating here was a piece of cake, because I've been doing this for a long time. A long, long time. And many friends out there who already went with me to Elisa, if you think differently, like for a tiny minute, you get sent to jail, and you know it. And that's our fear. We got fear that for our families in Cuba. But you know what?
Yep.
That's not the way we're
But they have
helping.
nothing else to lose. That's
Exactly.
it.
What are you going to take from them? The food? They have no food. The money? They got no money. The dignity? They got no dignity.
They
So
stole it all.
they stole our soul from us. So, and they're cowards, because this is what they do. You think differently, they beat you up. They beat you up and they lock you up. And this thing needs to stop. Now, it is not only the US. Don't worry only about the US. Worry about Cuba. This is happening. This is for you, the Cubans, and for you, the Cuban government. So thank you very much for watching and
listening. Please share.
Please. I'm
don't
sorry if
forget
we
to
get
share.
very passionate, but you know,
We're gonna be bringing a song about this situation that we wrote actually a few days ago, and we're working on a lot of projects right now. But again, Proyecto San Isidro. Those are the people that you want to go and look, check out, and any news that come out of those, the Cuba that says anything about them. From the Prensa Independiente, independent press, because the authorities in Cuba are denying all of this. So please,
the press from the government is silent through all this that is happening.
Compartan.
Partagez, s'il vous plaît, tous les amis en français. Please, I know you understand Spanish. Je sais que vous comprenez l'espagnol. S'il vous plaît, partagez pour tous nous. Merci à tous. Thank you.
Gracias.